Hi guys, my name is Becca, welcome back to my channel, and I'm here with my May wrap-up. I read a total number of 18 books in the month of May, and I also DNF'd 3. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I did fall into kind of a slump by the very end of May, like the very last week. I was still reading, but I wasn't reading it as much as I was reading the previous weeks, and I was trying to read a total of like 23 books, because I was doing this thing where I really wanted to, read like all of the May releases that were coming out that I was really excited for, like I was anticipating. So I was trying to do that as well as read the books that, I already had on my TBR that I wanted to read, and the books that I had already started that I wanted to read. Like, I have The Mister by E.L. James and Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness that I had started, but I didn't finish them. So that's not even in this video. Like, those will be hopefully in my June wrap-up if I can actually finish those. So, yeah. Let's talk about, first let's talk about the movies and things that I watched. So some of the highlights for the month was, let's see, Aladdin. I went and saw Aladdin, and it was amazing, and I loved it. Like 10 out of 10, would recommend. It was amazing. I know a lot of people had their doubts. Some people were saying that it wasn't, as good, because it's not Robin Williams, and they felt like Will Smith didn't do a really good job. And then something with Naomi Scott, which I thought was stupid. I loved Will Smith and Naomi Scott the most. I actually had issues with Aladdin. Just a little bit. I ended up loving him overall. Like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was just, like, the songs I didn't love as much as I loved the original. Like, the original versions. Like, A Whole New World is my main, like, it's my favorite song from Aladdin. It's pretty much one of my favorite Disney songs overall. And it's just the way that it was being done. It was fine, like, it was good, but it just didn't resonate within me like the original one did. But I will say Prince Ali was one of my favorites, and it wasn't in the original, which was actually kind of funny. And the new song, Speechless, that's sung by Jasmine, perfect. So, I really loved it. I love the changes. Like, they're just slight changes, they're not that big, but I love them. I thought they did a fantastic job of keeping you interested, even though, like, the main story plot, everything that's pretty much going to happen, but they did try to change a few things. So, you do, like, if you've already seen the original, you're not bored throughout the entire thing just watching the exact same thing over again, and I really like that. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Definitely go and see that movie if you hadn't. I did see John Wick 3, and I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. John Wick 1 is definitely the best out of the series. John Wick 2 was fine, and then John Wick 3 was just okay. John Wick 1 focused a lot on story, less on action, which is I think what I love the most about it. John Wick 2 did like half and half, which I was like perfectly fine. Story and action, okay. John Wick 3 focused more on the action than the story, and I feel like it just fell flat in a lot of places. The action scenes were just very overdone, and I didn't love it as much, and I felt like Halle Berry deserved more screen time. I thought she was going to get more screen time, and then she was just gone, and I'm like, really? This is all we got? That's it? So I was a little disappointed there, but I mean, overall I really loved it, or I really enjoyed it. It was great. It's John Wick. But yeah, I did have issues with it, but yeah. There's gonna be a 4. I'm definitely gonna go still go and see that. So, what else? I mean, other than Game of Thrones ending in May, which is one of the lowlights. I mean, I'm not the only one that said it. There's so many other people out there that have been talking about it. Yeah, that series finale was crap. Okay, I was very disappointed and very underwhelmed by what was happening. I felt like it was very rushed. That last season, 6 episodes only. Fine, if like you only need 6 episodes to get your story across, to get everything in there, fine. But you rushed so much, you left so much out. There's a lot of plot points that were just like left like from the first 7 seasons, like there's these plot threads that just cut off right before the 8th season. They're not answered, they're not completed. They're just literally like hanging there, and you're not gonna give us answers? There's so many things that they like forgot about, and it was just very annoying watching it and very upsetting, because I've been a fan for 8 years or 10 years, however long it's been, and it's like this is what I'm getting. And I'm not the only one that's been complaining about it. I'm not the only one that's been upset about it. Pretty much everybody's been upset. There are some people that really enjoyed the season and the series as a whole, and it's great for them. Like, I'm really happy for them. But that's not me. Like, I'm very disappointed. My God. I'm sorry, my nose just keeps itching. I thought there were some scenes that were done that were really well done, that I was just like shook, and it was great, but the ending sucked. There were just some other things that just didn't do well. I was very upset. Though, okay, there were a lot of people on social media saying that they are trying to sign a petition saying that the creators or the writers need to, redo it. Just give us a new season, redo it. And I don't feel like that's right. Yes, I'm upset. Yes, I'm disappointed. But I don't feel like it's right to ask the writers who have put in their time and see this as their vision and ask them to redo the series. Like, that's just not right to me. This is their vision. This is their version of events. This is how they saw it, and you either like it or you don't. Like, it's not up to you whether or not, or whether this goes the way it's supposed to go or not. So I don't feel it's right to, sign a petition or ask them to like redo it. I just think that's very unfair. But just because I said that doesn't mean like I'm not disappointed, and I just, yeah. When the books come out, when George R. R. Martin, because he is finishing up with 2 books, and he says that the Game of Thrones ending, the series ending, the show ending, was an ending. It's not the ending. So he says he's alluding to the fact that it might be a little different. So we'll see about that. I might just actually now start to read the series and see how I feel about the book series versus the TV show, because I was loving the TV show up until the 8th season. They just did my people dirty, and they really, really sucked with like continuing on these plot threads. And there's a lot of people missing, a lot, that you didn't know what happened to them. They just fell off the face of the earth, apparently. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else I really want to talk about in the month of May. Nothing I can think of anyway. Trying to think of like any other shows that... I finished Discover Your Witches. That's what I want to talk about. The show, the 8 episodes for the season 1, I really enjoyed it. Though I will say that very end, what the fuck? Really? That's the ending? I was very, very upset by that. It was great up until the last second. And I was just like, that's it? No, I need another minute. I need another minute. So, I am reading the book. I'm like halfway through. But, yeah, I haven't picked it up in a while because I've just been watching the show. And I did finish it, and I did really enjoy it overall. I really enjoyed the show. So I will be continuing for season 2. Hope to God it gets picked up. I better be renewed or I'm going to be pissed. Okay, let's talk about the books. Yeah, I've been talking way too much about, like, movies and shows. Let's get on to the books now, because we have a lot to talk about. Though, I will say, before getting into these, all of these have been talked about in other videos. All of my recent reads and currently reading videos, I've talked about all of these in semi-length. I talk more about them in those videos than I do in this one, because I'm not going to talk about, like, what these things are about, because I've already talked about it, and I mean, you can always just, like, go to Goodreads and look up what it's about, really. But, yeah, this is just, like, how I felt about them. But, again, I talk about that in those videos already, and I don't want to be redundant, so I'm going to be kind of quick about it. Okay? Alright. So, first off, for the DNFs, I have 3. And technically, for, these 2, they were, like, set down. I DNF'd them after, like, 2 pages. Okay, maybe 2 chapters, but still. It was really quick. But for the one that's a true DNF, I read, like, 150 pages of, and I did not care for it. And that was Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. I got 150 pages in, and I just was massively bored, didn't care about the characters, didn't care about the plot. I thought I would really enjoy it. I saw a lot of other people really enjoying it. But since putting it down and since DNFing it, more and more people have come out and said that they aren't really liking it, and they've since DNF'd it, so at least I feel like I'm not the only one. But yeah. Yeah, this was 150 pages. I mean, I got through half the book. I just didn't care for it. And then the other 2, the ones that were set down, the other one, one is one of the other Book of the Month books for April. And I literally almost hit myself in the head with it. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I just could not get into the writing, and I've talked about this, but the lack of quotation marks or something to signify dialogue, just, it's very jarring for me, and I can't seem to wrap my brain around it. And every time, like, I end up reading something, if I, like, start to realize, oh wait, this is dialogue, I have to go back and read it again. And I hate doing that. So, something to signify dialogue. That's all I ask. But that didn't happen. And I was, like, still looking at it. I'm like, yeah, still no signification of dialogue. And then the other one, which is very unfortunate, but I had a feeling it would happen because I've seen more and more people just not care for this. They've read the entire thing and just really did not like it. And me, I was just reading, like, a chapter or 2, and just, I felt like the writing didn't flow well in this book. I don't know, there's just something about the writing that just jarred. It was very jarring, and I did not enjoy it. And that's again by Better by Christine Riccio. I wanted to support Christine. I really love her channel, Poland Bananas Books. But I just couldn't get into this. And the thing with Sasha, like, you know, I went out and I got Zenith, and I read Zenith through the entire thing, and I was not really enjoying that one. And I didn't want to do that with this one, so I went to the library and got this one, which I'm thankful of because I didn't care for the writing. And again, like, when I DNF something, like, I've talked about this before, but when I DNF something, I keep skimming ahead to see, like, is it gonna get better? Is the writing going to start to flow? And it didn't. Like, every time I kept reading it, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't really care for that. So, those are my DNFs. Now that's out of the way. Now, we can talk about the books that I completed. And we're going to start with the 2019 releases. I read more 2019 releases this month, I think, than any other month, I believe. And they were mostly May releases, excluding the first 2 I'm going to talk about, pretty much. Like, one of them is like an April 30th release, so I'm considering that as like a May release, even though, yes, it's technically an April release, but still, it's close to May. But like the first two were like early April and right? Oh my god. Why do I feel like now I'm completely wrong? Pretty sure this was like an early April release, and one was like a February release. But still, I read quite a lot of 2019 releases. So, oh shoot, I had this in like order of my least to my favorites, but now I'm trying to think, how is this going to go? Okay, I think because I have some books I don't have with me. One I got from the library. Oh, well, technically that's going to go in the library one. Okay. That answers that. Okay. And the other one was a Kindle release, but I know where to put that one, so we're good. Alright. I guess let's just start with the first one is the one I gave, it's my least favorite, or my least liked out of all of these 2019 releases, and I gave this a 2-star, and it's my other book of the month pick for April. And it's Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. I wanted to like this. I really did. I've talked about this before. I've talked about it a couple of times. I just wanted this to be a lot darker than it was. I wanted it to be a lot more brutal than it was. But it wasn't. I just felt very underwhelmed by the whole thing. I liked the premise. I thought, you know, two kingdoms are at war. They both have different types of magic. You know, it was like, I thought it would be pretty good. But I didn't care for any of the characters. The romance was probably the worst aspect of this entire book. And that, to me, is just something that I don't necessarily like. If I can't gel with the romance, I'm pretty much not gelling with the book. Like, there's something off. I thought the writing was okay, but I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about the plot, even though I thought the premise would be really good. It just very underwhelming, and I didn't care. That was a 2-star. Now that's out of the way, all the other ones I enjoyed. Okay, so the next one is Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevre. This is, oh wait. Damn it. No, yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevre. This is technically like the 4th book in the His Fair Assassin trilogy, even though it's the first book in another duology, or in a duology that's set in the same world as that trilogy. It's following one of the same characters from that trilogy. It's following the plot from the last book on, so I see it as like the 4th book in that trilogy. Even though, yes, then it would make it a trilogy. It's like the 4th book in a series. You don't, like, okay, so, I saw, that Melissa from Melissa and Barnsey on her channel, like, I saw her, was it her TBR? I think it was her June TBR, and she put this on there, and she was like, she got the trilogy, finally. She finally got those, and I was like, thank God you got those, because you need to read those first. And she was saying how, like, someone had told her she only needed to read those to, like, enjoy this one more. You know, like, I guess she heard that you didn't have to read those 3 to go into this one, which is complete bullshit. I'm sorry. You need to read the other trilogy to understand most of the plot for this. Because it literally takes off right where the last one ended, and it even goes into detail of the ending of that. So I'm just like, why would somebody say you didn't have to read that trilogy to read this one? So I commented on her video really quick, and I was just like, no, you need to definitely read that trilogy first, or you just won't understand a thing that's happening in this. So thankfully she got the comment. Thankfully she, you know, she's going to read the trilogy first. I was just like, I was literally watching a video, I'm like, no, you need to read the trilogy now. Oh my god, you need to read the trilogy. Start with the trilogy first. Oh man. But, yeah, like I said, this is pretty much like the 4th book in a series. This one follows Sabella, and we have another character, Genevieve, who's another daughter of Mortain. She's another daughter of Death, but she's been, sort of, like, undercover in the French court, and she's been awaiting orders from the convent because she's been there for like 5 years with another one, and it's been a while since she's been like informed of anything. She hasn't gotten any orders, but Sabella ends up going with the Duchess of Brittany to the French court, and she's there with the Duchess, and she's going to need the help of her sister, though they've never met. Okay, that's really, really all I can say to not spoil anything else. Sabella's chapters were great. You get more like story, and you get more of your characters that you really loved, and it was just great. Genevieve's chapters, because it does follow both of them. It goes from Sabella to Genevieve. Genevieve's chapters were very boring to me. I didn't care about her character at all. And then finally at the very end, it was like, okay. Like, I just didn't care for Genevieve much. I didn't really... I'm sorry, but if she died in this, I would have been like, okay, cool. More Sabella. Like, that's really all I wanted. It was just more Sabella and Beast. And I was just like, stop giving me this character I don't care about. I get that she needs to further the plot, but I don't care about her. So yeah, 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Not as much as the original trilogy, but I still really enjoyed it. The first 2 in the trilogy are my favorites. Grave Mercy and Dark Triumph, my favorites. Mortal Heart and Courting Darkness, I think I both gave those 4 stars. And the first 2, of course, I gave 5 stars. But yeah, I still really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the sequel. Yeah. Okay, and then I have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This I also gave 4 stars. This isn't my favorite of their books. I've enjoyed their other books a lot more. I will say this is better than the My Favorite Half Night Stand. I liked that one, but yeah, I didn't love that one either, which I think was the one previous to this one. My 2 favorites of theirs are Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating and Dating You, Hating You. I love those ones so much. This one was good. This one, you know, it's the love to hate or the hate to love trope. That's what I mean. You know, it's a vacation romance. It was fine. I just didn't care for Olive much, which is our main character, our main heroine. And also I would have really liked to have Ethan's perspective, our love interest. I really would have liked a dual perspective in this, and I just felt like it fell flat because of that. Though, just because I said that doesn't mean I didn't love it. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. But, yeah, I didn't love this as much as I wanted to, and I thought the ending was really great. I cried so hard towards the end. I really did. But it was hard to get into it. And it was hard to get into the romance because, you know, it's like a fake dating trope because they have to go on their siblings' honeymoon. It's a long story. You really need to read the trope or read the synopsis. But it's pretty much that their siblings are getting married, and everyone gets really sick at the wedding party except for Olive and Ethan. And Olive and Ethan have to go on this honeymoon for the siblings, or it's just gonna go to waste. And yeah, it's a fake. They have to pretend they're married. It's a fake dating love, hate to love trope. And I did really enjoy it. I really did. It was just a little hard to get into, just because I didn't really care for Olive as much in the beginning. I do feel like she got a lot better towards the end. But, yeah, I 4 stars. It was good. And then we have We Hunt the Flame. Why do I keep almost hitting myself in the head with these? We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. This is my Book of the Month pick for May, or one of them. And this is set in... It's inspired by ancient Arabia. So after seeing Aladdin, I was just like, really getting into this. It was still like pretty hard to get into it first, just because like a lot of the writing, like the writing is gorgeous, the writing is beautiful, but a lot of like the terms and stuff is like Arabic and things, and I don't speak like Arabic. I have no idea what this means, and like I really have to like figure out what it means first, and it was kind of hard, you know, to like stay in this world without getting what's it called, like, disjointed. Like, I just felt it was a little disjointed just because I had to keep, like, stepping out of this world to figure out what these terms meant. Even though sometimes it is in the book, like, it tells you, like, what these terms mean. I'm just like, what? What is this? Oh, okay, that's what it means. And then I get back into the book. It's just, yeah. I still really enjoyed it. I really love the characters. I thought the romance was actually decent. And I know there's going to be a sequel and I can't wait for it. And I gave it 4 stars. I think upon a reread, I might rate it higher because now that I know what these terms mean, now I know where the plot is going, I can probably enjoy it a lot more than I did. So who knows? This could definitely be a 5-star read if I reread it. We'll see. I don't know when I'm going to get to rereading this, but like I said, I really enjoyed this. And I gave it like a 4.25 star. Like, that's why it's after these two, which were definitely just 4 stars. This one was more enjoyable than those. But yeah, I still really enjoyed it. Okay, so now we have like our 4.5 to 5-star reads. And the first 2 books I'm going to talk about, my two 4.5 book, my 2 4.5 star books are books that I said in the recent videos, in the currently reading recent reads videos. They were both 5-star reads, but upon like really thinking about it, they're both 4.5-star reads. And I know it. Doesn't mean I didn't love them, because they're 4.5 stars. I really love them, okay? But they're just not those 5-star books. The first one is A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. I've said this a million times, like, I love this series more than anything. The Reluctant Royal series by Alyssa Cole is becoming like one of my favorite series, and every time there's a new book in the series, doesn't matter if it's a novella or if it's a main novel, I just need to have it. I need to listen to it. I love it. I have given all of the previous books, the 2 main novels plus the 2 novellas, all 5 stars. This one I gave 5 stars in the beginning because I was like, I really loved it. It deserves 5 stars, like, it was great, it's just not my favorite. But upon saying that, I'm like, it's not my favorite. And there was just something off for me. I don't know what it was, but it was just something that I wasn't, like, clicking as much with the stories I have in previous stories. So it's getting a 4.5, maybe like a 4.75. But, yeah. I can't give it a full 5 stars because I loved all the other ones more than this one. And those all got 5 stars. They deserve the 5 stars. This one was good. I really enjoyed the romance, really enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the narration, because I of course listened to this all on audiobook. I love this series on audiobook so much. But there's just something off in the beginning, and it really, like, unnerved me throughout the entire book, and I remember feeling that way, and I was just like, the whole time, like, why am I giving this 5 stars if I know I felt a certain way while reading it? Like, there's just something off in the beginning that I really wasn't caring about the, like, romance at first. I started to really, really love it, but 4.5 stars, okay? Going with that. And the other one is my other book of the month pick for May, and that's The Bright Test by Helen Hoang. Again, I was like, there was something... Okay, I knew exactly what it was for this. Okay, so originally I said I was giving this 5 stars because even though there was something in this book that really pissed me off, or, like, just really annoyed me and I didn't like it, it still deserved 5 stars. And I do love this book, and I do feel like this is a fantastic book. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 recommend. But I really hate when characters lie for no fucking reason. There's no reason to lie to the other like, like, she lies about what her career is. And the reason she has for that is, well, I hope he likes me more now. Really? if he doesn't like you for who you are, then why the frick are you trying? Like, I get why you're trying to do this, but it's just so nerve-wracking and so annoying, and I hate it. I hate it so much. And then there's this deeper lie she has throughout the, like, it's a lie of omission, but still, it's a lie that she just keeps, like, it's a secret that she's keeping from him the entire book. And it just really annoyed me and really pissed me off. And even though I said, like, I could definitely just, you know, forget, like, I could forgive it, and I could just be like, it's a 5-star. It was still sitting with me, like, why am I giving this book 5 stars when I gave The Kiss Quotient 5 stars, and I had no issues with that. But with this one, I had major issues, even though it was still amazing, and I still loved it, and I love the characters, I love the romance, I love the autism representation, because our main character, well, our main love interest, Kai, is on the autism spectrum, and I really, really loved it. And I love that, I mean, Esme is from Vietnam, and she doesn't know, she's our main heroine, and she doesn't know that, what autism is. She has no clue. And she's an American, she's learning these things. And I like that she's learning his quirks and getting to know him. And it's just, I really, really love that. And I give it a 4.5, 4.75. Just the lying thing and the, you know, the lying by omission, the secrets, it just really, really annoys me. And so I had to bump it. Like, I had to decrease half a star. I had to. I could not keep it at 5 stars knowing how I feel. So these two were once 5-star books in my mind. They're now 4.5-star books, and it's staying like that. Doesn't mean I didn't enjoy them. Again, 10 out of 10 would recommend both of these series, and I love the previous books, but just saying. Okay, now we can get on with the 5-star books, and now I'm feeling fine. Okay. Alright, so the first 5-star book that I have is Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book in the Caraval trilogy, the final book in the Caraval trilogy. I really loved it. I thought it was a solid conclusion. I loved the characters. The romances were great. And even though I felt like in Legendary that the revelation of Legend, because that's pretty much the main secret, until, like, the end of Legendary, I'm just gonna say there is a reveal of who Legend is in the end of Legendary. And I was, like, kind of feeling like this can't be right. Like, this can't be the actual revelation. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, but, like, really reading this one, I was like, okay, it's fine. I love it. 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book. Again, I listened to this one on audiobook, the entire trilogy. Love these audiobooks. Rebecca Soler narrates these. She's amazing. And yeah, I just really love this. And now I want to reread this trilogy, just like physically reading it. Then maybe I'll listen to the audiobook too while I do that. I don't know. But yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. 5 stars. How many times am I going to say 10 out of 10 would recommend? How many times? Okay, so next up I have the Kindle book that I had, and that is As Kismet Would Have It by Sanya Menon. This is technically book 3 in the, like, When Diplomat Rishi series? I don't know. They're like a series of sort of companions, I guess. From Twinkle with Love is not in it. It has nothing to do with it, thank God. Because I'm sorry, From Twinkle with Love was not great. I didn't care for the characters, I didn't care for the plot. Again, that whole lying thing just really pisses me off. And I just, I did not like Twinkle's book at all. And I'm really glad to know that that has nothing to do with When Diplomat Rishi, where now we can finally get into the books that do. So, When Diplomat Rishi I read a couple years ago, I gave that 5 stars. It was amazing. As Kismet Would Have It came out as a novella before the 3rd book of Sanya Menon's, which was There's Something About Sweetie. And I was really hesitant to pick up There's Something About Sweetie. I just didn't know if I would really like it because how I felt with From Twinkle with Love. But As Kismet Would Have It is like a novella taking place after When Diplomat Rishi. It follows Dimple and Rishi, and I'm just like, these are my characters, I love my babies, I'm going to read it. But then finding out after I read it, and after really wanting to read Sweetie's book then, that it's a third book, and There's Something About Sweetie is number 2, really upset me. I was like, great. I kind of spoiled myself for There's Something About Sweetie, but to be honest, like, it really gave me the kick to read this one, because again, I was very hesitant about picking it up, because I didn't know how I would feel with it. So, As Kismet Would Have It got 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I loved seeing Dimple and Rishi again. I thought that was great. And I loved meeting Ashish and Sweetie, so I can go into this one. But technically it's 3, and you shouldn't read it before this one. Though it did come out before this one, so what do you want me to do? Really? Like, why did the novella come out before the book? The main novel? It doesn't make sense unless it's, like, set before it, but it's not. So that was annoying. So that was 5 stars. I really loved it. Now we can talk about There's Something About Sweetie, which is, again, 5 stars. And this is my second to last 2019 release. This would have been my favorite book of the month. It really would have been my favorite book of the month. Except for the book I'm going to show you after this. Okay? All the other books were not part of my favorites. Which was hilarious, because I love my 2019 releases more than I love my backlist, which I had a feeling was coming. But yeah, There's Something About Sweetie follows Ashish and Sweetie. Ashish is Rishi's younger brother, and Sweetie is another Indian American girl that Ashish is set up with. Yeah. I love them. I thought they were great. Sweetie is a fat main character, and there's a lot of fat shaming in this, but there's also, like, really great fat representation, because Sweetie knows how she feels. She loves her body, and she doesn't care what anybody else says. She loves her body. That's all that matters. And Ashish is thin, and it's like there's this whole thing where Sweetie's mom doesn't want her with Ashish because he's thin and she's fat. And that in itself is fat shaming, and I'm just like, that was really hurting me, but I really loved Sweetie. I just love Sweetie so much. And I love Ashish because he loves Sweetie, and it was so freaking good, and I absolutely loved it. I thought their romance was perfect. This beat out When Dimple Met Rishi for me, because I thought that would be my favorite in the series, but no. This was perfect. I loved it. I loved this book so much, and I loved all the discussions, and the romance, and the friendships. All the friendships were great. Both Ashish and Sweetie have their friend groups, and both of their friend groups have great friendships, or just like a great friendship circle, and even like a little bit of like the drama that happened was just great, and I loved it, and I cried so hard, and it was so good. Like, it was just so perfect. If you haven't picked this one up, if you didn't like From Twinkle Love, but you loved When Dimple Met Rishi, pick this up, please. Just give it a chance. This is amazing. I feel bad because I almost didn't pick this up, and I regret feeling like that. So there's another book I feel that is coming out. It actually came out today. It's coming out in June, or it came out today, and I read a book from an author, and I didn't care for it last year. Like, I really didn't care for it. But I'm thinking now I should probably pick up the second book. It's not in the same series, which is good. I'm talking about Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I read Enchantment of Ravens last year, and I hated it. Like, I can't say I hated it, but I didn't enjoy it at all. At all. But Sorcery of Thorns came out today, and I've been thinking, like, I should really go out and pick it up, because I've been hearing really good things, and because I love this one so much, it's really making me feel like I should give authors another chance. So, yeah, I love that book. Part of me is like, it's neck and neck with the other book that I'm about to talk about, the one I think is like my favorite of the month, but it really is neck and neck with Red, White, and Royal Blue. I feel like they tie for my favorite of the month. But Red, White, and Royal Blue was just amazing. I loved the gay representation and the bisexual representation. We have Alex, who is the first son of the United States, and Henry was the Prince of Wales. So he's a Prince of England. And Alex is bisexual and Henry is gay. And I just love them so much. It's a hate to love trope. Because at first they start off as like almost like enemies, not really, but they have like, you know, they don't care for each other at all, and then there's this like disaster that happens, and they have to pretend to be best friends to like, you know, try to sort that out, and then they ended up like developing feelings for each other. Oh my god, I just love this book so much. Can you tell? I could not tab this book. Every time I got to like the very first time I was like, oh, that's funny, and I put a yellow tab. And every time there was a scene that I was just like, oh, I love that scene, I put a pink tab. Like, I have just tabs, and I want to go back and reread this and like really like annotate and underline and stuff, because I haven't done that. I just tabbed it. But I love this so much. And now I really want to reread When Double Met Rishi and this and annotate those, because I think I would really like to do those as well. So yeah, these are my favorites of the month. Oh man, I keep dropping things. But yeah, these are my favorites. I love them. For sure pick these two up, please. They're fantastic. Okay, so now we have my rereads. Or no, first we have the library book that I read. Let's start with that one, and then we'll have my rereads and my backlist titles. Okay, so my one library book that I read in the month of May was an April release, I believe, and it was Fumbled. Or was it a May release? But it was Fumbled by Alexa Martin. That is the sequel to Intercepted. It's like a companion, though. It doesn't follow the same characters. It does follow the same like football team and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed Intercepted, and I enjoyed Fumbled exactly the same as I enjoyed Intercepted. I really loved the characters, I loved the romance. There were times where the like love interest, you know, the football player would just piss me the frick off, and he would say things I was just like, are you kidding me? And this is in both Intercepted and Fumbled. But what I really loved about both of those books were our main characters are female leads, and they just don't take shit, and they won't let you say that kind of stuff, or they're just gonna freaking leave you. Like, they're not gonna let you just get away with it, and I love that so much. So both of those books got 4 stars. Intercepted, though, I read like last year. Fumbled got 4 stars, and I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's really all I can say. I really enjoyed it. And I love it that in Fumbled, there's this little boy. He's just so sweet and so precious. I love it. It's a lot, like, family focused, and, our main character, Poppy, like, really focuses on her family and on her son, who is the kid, and I loved it. And the romance between TK and Poppy was just great. So, yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Alright, so now we have our rereads. First, I'm going to talk about the 2 Dark Hunter books that I read by Shailene Kenyon. Though one is technically a Dark Hunter, this is a Dream Hunter. So, yeah. We have Devil May Cry, which is the Dark Hunter one. This one follows Kat and Sin. You finally find out who Kat is. I loved rereading this one. I think I've reread it like 3 times or something. I don't know. I love this book. It's one of my favorites in the series. I love finding out who Kat is. It's just great. I love the revelations. Oh my god. Literally, when it's revealed, I just start bawling because it's so well done. And Sin is just, he's great. He is an ex-god from the Sumerian. Yeah, he's an ex-Sumerian god that had his powers taken away from by Artemis, and he was turned Dark Hunter, technically. Not really. He's really just an ex-god, but he has all the powers of Dark Hunter mixed a little bit with his Sumerian powers, and it's just great. Him and Kat, I love so much, and 5 out of 5 stars. These are rereads though, because so I can't count them as like favorites, but they're always going to be favorites for me. And the other one I read was Upon the Midnight Clear by Shelly Kenyon. This is the Dream Hunter one. It's very short and like large print writing. This one follows Lena, I believe. Lita and Aiden. And Lita, why do I keep calling her Lena? Lita is the Dream Hunter. Aiden is mortal. And they meet because of this other other god. He's not it's like a Skotos. Yeah, he's a Skotos, which is like another type of Dream Hunter. I believe it's something like that. Maybe he's just a god. I can't think now. What was he? I have no idea. I don't think it says it. Technically, she's a goddess too, but yeah. Okay. I thought the romance was cute. The story was fine. The plot was fine. Out of the Dream Hunter novels, because I don't necessarily like Dream Hunter novels, this one was good. I enjoyed it. It's a reread, and I knew that. And I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed this. The only ones I haven't really are Dream Hunter. Yeah. I think so far Dream Hunter is the one I like the least. Like, the least. I think I gave that like 3 stars, and I've given all of the Dark Hunter books like 5 stars. So far that's my least favorite. But this one was really good, 5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. And then we have my reread of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, the first in the Mortal Instruments series. After finishing the show... Wait, did that end in May? No, I think it ended in April, right? Okay. But yeah, I finished the show, and I really loved the show. Well, okay, there were a lot of things that were different, and they weren't great, but, what's it called? Why can't I think? Okay, mainly, the show, Alec and Magnus. That's all I cared about. I just wanted more Alec and Magnus. And after that ending, and after all of that, I needed to read this to get my Alec and Magnus fix. But they're not in this much. Or like at all. They're like in it for like, what, 2 or 3 scenes? Like, Alec is in it for a little bit. Magnus has like a couple scenes. There's like maybe like 1 or 2 times. So I'm just like, Alec and Magnus are great. I love them. But 3 stars. This wasn't great. I didn't care much. I knew everything that was going to happen. It was fine. 3 stars. I'm still going to continue on with the series. Like, I'm still going to reread all of them. Though now finding out that Chain of Gold, which is the first book in the next series, has been pushed to March. Because Cassandra Clare has, like, I think a surgery or something she has to get done. So, of course, she has to take care of herself. For sure. It just, now that finding out that it got pushed back to March, I'm not completely, like, in a hurry to reread all of them, but I still really want to reread them to get my Alec and Magnus fix. Knowing Alec and Magnus will get better, like, their relationship will get, I'll get more of it later. So, yeah. So those are all my rereads. Let's talk about the backlist titles. They, 2 of them got 3 stars, 1 of them got 2 stars, so I don't really even want to talk about them. The Novice by Taran Matharu, 2 stars, did not care. This follows like a guy who can summon demons. Well, he finds a demon summoning scroll, and he summons a demon. Then he has to go to school to train how to use the demon and to fight like the orcs. I wanted to like this, I really did. All of these books are books that my brother chose for me for my TBR, and I mean, there was one I didn't get to, which was Four Dead Queens. That was the only one of the ones that he chose that I didn't get to. He chose 5. He chose The Courting Darkness, which I gave 4 stars. And then he chose The Novice, which I gave 2 stars. Sorry, I didn't care. And then he chose these 2 as well. One being Slated by Terry Terry. This I gave 3 stars. Thought it was alright. Oh. So I just got a text. Sorry. Yeah, Slated by Terry Terry. I just thought it was alright. It was fine. It's like a dystopian novel. I don't necessarily love dystopian. Don't read it much. Wow, is this really long? But yeah, it was fine. 3 stars. He read it. He really enjoyed it. I wish I enjoyed it more, but I might continue on to find out like what happens, but 3 out of 5 stars. And then the last one is Forget Tomorrow by Pintip Dunn. Again, 3 out of 5 stars. This again was just fine. It's the other book he chose for me. He's never read it, but he wanted me to read it to find out if I would like it. And I think it was like, you know, it was much better than this. Like, this I didn't feel anything for anybody or anything. These I at least like cared a little bit about the, you know, like the plot and the characters and stuff and the romance. There's a little romance in both of these, so I at least respected that. I appreciated that. But yeah, they were just okay. They were fine. 3 out of 5 stars. This one has like a future memory type thing, so it's not really time travel, but it's where you get like your future memory. Like, you get a memory that your future self has had, and it kind of determines like your role in society and like what you're going to be doing in the future. I thought that was kind of cool, and there's like psychic abilities in this as well, so it was kind of cool. Again, 3 out of 5 stars. It was fine. Okay, that's it. Oh my god, this is so long. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again with another video. Bye. Happy reading.